Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. Maharashtra used to be considered the engine of India's development. Today the state is drowning in debt, its farmers committing suicide, its children dying of malnutrition. What's gone wrong? That's the critical question that I shall put today in an exclusive interview to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Vilashrao Deshmukh. Mr. Deshmukh, let's start with the big picture. Maharashtra was considered the engine of India's development. Today your state is drowning in debt, and in almost every respect Gujarat has gone ahead. Is this proof of misrule?
No, I don't agree with this, because you see the Maharashtra always been number one, and today also the position, if you go by latest CII survey which has been carried out by CII, still Maharashtra continues to be at number one.
Let's look at the debt situation that confronts you. According to the CAG, Maharashtra's debt in 2000-2001 was 63,000 crore. In 2004-2005, it's doubled to 121,000 crore, and now your own finance minister is hinting that next year it could increase by perhaps as much as 33% more. That's a terrible situation.
No, the point is, if you see a state like Maharashtra, if our potential is such that we can carry on this kind of a burden, but for the development, I think any loan on any state government, I think this is not the thing to be worried about.
But the reason people are worried is today your liabilities are 3 times your revenue. How can that continue?
No, we have to increase our revenue side, and we are mobilizing many resources, and as that has now come into play, and things are improving.
But far from increasing your revenue side, in fact the slide is getting worse and worse. In the early 1990s, Maharashtra was considered to be amongst the top 14 states the lowest in terms of its fiscal deficit, the second lowest in terms of its revenue deficit. The situation has eroded completely from there.
No, the point is because it has a history. You must go back to the government run by Shiv Sena and BJP in 1995, and since then this thing just started.
You mean the rot started with the Shiv Sena?
Yeah, because they started borrowing the loans.
But Shiv Sena was succeeded by you. 5 years we've had of Congress government. You were there as Chief Minister for almost 3 of them.
Yeah, of course, I do admit that, but the point is, once they have already started incurring a lot of loan from market, and then the schemes they already started, and then we have to fall in the same
Chief Minister, you're blaming your opponents. That's an easy and convenient thing to do. The problem is that your debt hasn't actually fueled growth. Maharashtra's growth during the 85-95 period, before the Shiv Sena came to power, admittedly, was 7.5% on average a year. Since 95, the average is 4.5 a year. It's collapsed.
It was there earlier, but now for last 3 years, the growth rate of Maharashtra is about 9%. For last successive 3 years.
Let's just look at the comparison of Maharashtra with Gujarat, and in every single particular, your state is performing less well. Since the mid-1990s, your per capita income is growing at 3%, Gujarat is growing at 5%. Your state GDP is growing at 5%, Gujarat is growing at 7%. Your industry is growing at 4%, Gujarat is growing at 7%. In almost every respect, Gujarat is doing better than you.
No, the point is, as I said, because of this, in between, in 95 to, say about 99, the things were deteriorated, and because of that gap, we have to fall in the same debt trap.
But you've had 6 years of Congress government, you've had 3 or 4 years of government under your personal leadership. The reversal is not obvious to anyone.
One must admit that I am running a coalition government, and coalition government has its own limitations and own compensations.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, there is a problem, because so far as financial disciplines are concerned, we have to take some hard decisions. And when we run a coalition government, it is very difficult to take hard decisions.
So you're saying that the coalition allies that you have will not let you take hard decisions?
No, it's very difficult, as I said, though we wish to take. But
what is the problem? They are stopping you?
No, they are not stopping me.
Then why is it difficult?
The point is, to take a hard decision, it also reflects on the people at large. In the initial, when I took over as the Chief Minister, I took so many hard decisions. We stopped recruiting the new
Let's come back to the problem you're talking about. You're saying in a coalition government it's difficult to take hard decisions. Is the problem that as Chief Minister you don't have the strength?
No, there is no question of strength, because as a single party government, you enjoy full powers at our command. But once you lead a coalition government, the agendas are different, priorities are different, and then we have to please the people.
So you're saying your allies, the NCP, will not let you take hard decisions. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not that, because you see, only question of NCP nowadays, this particular government, NCP and Congress has its own majority. I am talking about earlier government, when we have to depend upon the independent,
so you're saying since
smaller
95,
parties. Since 99 to 2004, this was a very difficult period, and from 2005 onwards, things are much better.
well, you say they're much better. Let me quote to you what the Maharashtra State Development Report commissioned by the Planning Commission has actually said. They're calling for drastic cuts in government expenditure. They want severe reductions in subsidy. They want major restructuring of PSUs. Are you committed to that?
Of course, we are doing it on that, especially to curb on these PSUs. We have taken some good...
What exactly will you do to your PSUs?
The PSUs which are not running profitably, we have already taken a decision to close down.
You're going to close them down?
Yeah.
And what about the workers?
No, workers will be rehabilitated, they will be given their due.
You mean you will give them payment in lieu of the jobs that they lose?
Of course.
And will your allies let you go ahead?
No,
will your allies let you go ahead?
No, that is the decision taken unanimously.
So then why do you say...
We have appointed a separate committee to evaluate each and every PSU, and they must recommend to the government.
When will we see the first PSUs in Maharashtra closing down?
I think very soon, because especially there are quite a few which have been recommended, and they are under process.
So when you say very soon, will we see them closing down this year, 2006?
Yes, maybe 1 or 2, it will be closed down by end of the 2006.
What about cutting on public subsidies? When will you start cutting back on subsidies?
The public subsidy, cutting on public subsidy is a bit difficult decision. It is the most unpopular decision.
Absolutely, but those are the decisions you are called upon to take as Chief Minister.
No, yeah, of course, but the point is, it requires political will.
Do you have the political will?
Personally, yes, but
Your allies
I have to take everybody into confidence.
So you mean to say that you, Vilashrao Deshmukh, have the will, but your party and your allies don't, so as a result you can't act?
No, at the same time, I'll have to also take my own party into the confidence.
So your own party too is not supporting you in terms of cutting subsidies?
Take into the confidence, because to cut down on the subsidies is a national issue, it's not a state issue.
Do you know what the people of Maharashtra say? The people of Maharashtra say this government isn't interested in development. Instead, it's interested in things like wardrobe malfunctions and dance bar girls. Are your priorities right?
No, see, dance bar is a separate issue. I mean, it cannot be linked to the development. That is the issue.
You spend a lot of time on dance bars, you spend a lot of time on wardrobe malfunctions. You don't seem to have enough time to take the tough decisions to put Maharashtra back on its feet.
No, no. This is a commitment to bring back Maharashtra on its own feet.
Do you know what BN Yugandhar of the Planning Commission said in February about your state? Maharashtra is an example of a failed state.
No, I was there in the meeting. Yugandhar was critical, no doubt about it, but it is not that the Maharashtra. Then why did this same Planning Commission has increased our outlay by 34%?
Because they can't afford to let you fail. But
No,
nonetheless, they say in administrative terms, in terms of tough decisions, you aren't taking the decision.
Yugandhar told us that there are certain grey areas.
He said Maharashtra is a failed state.
He must have expressed his views. But at the same time, when we explained that there are grey areas, as he said, that the electricity problem is there, malnutrition problem is there, farmers committed suicides and all these areas are, yes, we admitted that.
Chief Minister, the Prime Minister says he wants to make Bombay like Shanghai. The great danger is you may make Maharashtra like Bihar.
No, absolutely not. We will try to fulfill the dream of our Prime Minister, and accordingly we are already planned.
Before the end of your term, will you turn Maharashtra's finances around?
Of course.
That's a commitment?
Of course.
But what about the necessary support from your allies and your party to take tough decisions?
So far as bring back the financial conditions to our original position, I think my allies will 100% support me.
And will your party support you?
Of course they will support
But then
me.
will you get the necessary support to cut subsidies? That's a major test.
No, subsidies, see, subsidies are a separate issue. It's not the only cutting down on those subsidies only will bring back the financial position. I don't agree with that.
But it's a test of your ability to take tough decisions. People are looking for a test. They're looking for proof that Vilashrao Deshmukh has steel in his back.
I will prove and I will try to be up to their expectations.
Do you realize that this is perhaps the greatest critical test of your chief ministership?
Of course, I think
You accept that?
I accept. This is a great decision, and I mean, it requires courage. It requires kind of a support required.
And it requires personal strength from you as chief minister.
Definitely, I am committed to that.
And you have it in you.
Yeah,
You're confident of that.
I'm 100%
This
sure.
is not just easy, glib talk.
I know it's not that easy, but see, if you have a political will and if you are in a position to move forward, I think things will change and they will support you.
So you're saying to me that Vilashrao Deshmukh as chief minister will turn Maharashtra around?
This is my commitment, personal.
In which case, let's take a break. I want to come back and talk about the agrarian crisis in Vidarbha, the farmers' suicides that are perhaps touching 500 in the last 1 year, and put to you what could be the greatest challenge you face. Your own people are dying committing suicide, and your children are dying of malnutrition. How worried are you? That's the subject after the break. See you in a moment's time. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an interview with the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Vilashrao Deshmukh. Chief Minister, let's turn to the agrarian crisis in Vidarbha. According to the Vidarbha Jan Andolan Samiti, there have been over 450 farmer suicides in June, over 322 since November, over 77 in March, and they are increasing at the rate of 3 per day. As Chief Minister of Maharashtra, how embarrassed are you by this?
No, it's the things is very unfortunate so far as Maharashtra is concerned. State like Maharashtra, because farmers are committing suicides, is not going to add to our glory.
So are you embarrassed that this is happening while you're Chief Minister?
Absolutely, I'm totally embarrassed as my own farmers are committing suicide.
Let's just for a moment ask you a simple question. Do you accept the figures put out by the Vidarbha Jan Andolan Samiti?
I don't want to contest over the figures.
So you accept them?
No, his question is acceptance, because any suicide cannot be turned as a farmer suicide.
But let me repeat the figures because they're critical. Over 450 since June, over 322 since November, 77 alone in March, and they are increasing at 3 a day. You accept those figures?
So far as my figures are concerned, they are reaching about 350.
Even Sakal, a newspaper tightly owned and controlled by your allies, puts the figure at over 400. How can you say it's under?
No, it's paper figures and figures calculated by our own officers, the government figures.
What's your official figure?
Because I just said, no, maybe nearly about 350.
Since when?
This whole year I'm talking about.
So in other words, your official figure since June is nearly 350. The Jan Andolan Samiti puts it at over 450.
I don't want to contest with the figure.
So you will happily accept the Jan Andolan Samiti figure?
I'm telling you the help which we give to each and every family of the
Let's come to that. Let's come to the help you give in a moment's time, because many people contest whether you are helping. Do you accept that the agrarian crisis in Vidarbha is the biggest challenge you face?
Absolutely.
You accept the size and the scale and the significance of the problem. You do not contest it.
I don't contest that, because I don't see that for any reason, if the farmer is committing suicide, it is not the thing which any chief minister should be very much happy over that.
In which case, let's come to the manner in which you've tackled this problem since you came to power in June 2004. One of your loudest promises in that election campaign was that you would increase the procurement price of cotton to 2,700 rupees per quintal. On the basis of that promise, you won critical votes in Vidarbha. Yet you've done absolutely nothing to fulfill the promise.
No, see, last year we purchased the cotton, I mean not exactly last year, the year before last year, we gave the full price to the farmers. Till the suicides were much more.
Chief Minister, let's accept one thing to start with.
Cotton price and suicide has no correlation.
Before we go into details, can you accept that one of your election promises loudly made to the people of Vidarbha is that you would increase the procurement to 2,700 per quintal. You haven't done that. Do you accept that?
Yeah, I accept that.
You accept that?
Yes.
So you have broken a promise you made at the election. You accept
There is
that?
no question, because there are so many promises given in the election time, but it is very difficult. It is very difficult.
There are
because
so many promises given, they can be broken easily.
No, not a question of breaking those, but the question is, it is very difficult financially to fulfill. It takes time.
Quite right. It's very easy to make a promise. It's very difficult financially to fulfill it. I accept that. The problem is that in this case, not only did you not fulfill your promise, last year in October, you scrapped what's called the advance bonus, effectively reducing the procurement price from 2,200 to just 1,700, which is what the price used to be way back in 1994.
No, but you cannot forget one thing, that this monopoly procurement scheme is only in one state, that is Maharashtra.
But this is where the farmers are dying. Vidarbha is the region worst affected.
This cotton growing area is not only Vidarbha, it is Marathwada, it is Khandesh.
But do you know what you did? But Chief Minister, Chief Minister, just look at the situation. You won an election promising a 22% increase. Do you know what you did? You've cut the price effectively by 22%. By scrapping the advance bonus, that is precisely what you've done.
Scrapping this bonus is the advance bonus. See, any scheme.
But it was an effective part of the procurement price.
Has a procurement act passed by the assembly.
Do you know what the Jan Andolan Samiti says?
Way back 30.
Do you know what the Jan Andolan Samiti says? You scrapped the advance bonus in October. Since November, over 322 fresh suicides have happened. They say these suicides are directly related to your decision to scrap the advance bonus.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. They are not at all related with the decision, because, as I said, no, they are not.
You can't prove it.
No, no question of proving.
One happens directly after the other. Surely they're correlated.
We have examined each and every case. Our whole team had gone over there. They examined. They met the family members. They got their statement recorded, and there is no correlation.
All right, that's what you say. Let's move on beyond the correlation between suicides and price. The problem is, it's not just over price that you've broken your promise. It's not just over price that you've actually done the opposite of what you promised. The Maharashtra government has even withdrawn from procurement effectively. 411 official procurement centers have been reduced to just 141. And today, there are more private procurement centers than government centers. And those private ones pay a lot less than 1,700 per quintal. So once again, you've left the farmer in the hands of the private sector.
Absolutely. I don't agree with that. You see, the prices are fixed by the government of India. Minimum support price to any agriculture commodity, and we have to protect farmers from that.
But you're not protecting them.
We are protected.
There are
them.
140.
We are protected.
There are only 141 official centers. There are 210 private centers, and the private centers are in fact paying a lot less than 1,700.
No, your figures doesn't match with the government figures.
My figures, let me tell you, come from
whatever centers were.
My figures come from Mr. N.P. Hirani, Chairman, Maharashtra State Cotton Cooperative Growers Manufacturing and Marketing Federation, quoted in the Hindu on the 25th of February. He's an official of your government.
See, but you must also take into account that how much was the production. This year the production was low as compared to the last year.
So you've cut the price even further?
No question of cutting the price.
At a time when suicides are rising.
We have given price declared by the government of India.
But Minister, just look at the cumulative situation. First of all, you promise a price hike. In fact, you cut the price. Then you withdraw your state from actually procuring. You leave the procurement to the private sector, who are paying even less than the official price. The farmer
Nobody can
is left
procure
unprotected.
any commodity less than the price announced by the government of India.
Let's take another
minimum support price one has to give compulsorily, otherwise he will be penalized.
Let's take another aspect of the problem. In December, you promised a debt relief package of just over 1,000 crore. You said that the compensation for every farmer who took his life would be 1 lakh. Your own newspapers in your own state say that 4 months later, no money has been paid whatsoever.
I don't agree with that. As I said, we have already paid about 344 farmers to their families.
Many of the farmers, according to the papers, have received checks of just 1 and 2 rupees.
No, how can that happen?
It's been in the papers.
No, that is a different story.
Let me quote to you. So you accept it. So you accept it. So you accept it.
No, 1 or 2 rupees, I mean, as per their accounts.
1 or 2 rupees as per their accounts. Why bother to pay them if it's only 1 or 2 rupees?
No, no, no.
Let me quote to
And
you.
we already stopped that. As I said, this is a wrong system because some person down the line must have issued a check of 1 rupee or 2 rupees, which I also read
So
in
you
the.
accept it now?
We also read in the
So
newspaper.
you accept it. Now you're accepting it.
I read in the newspaper.
Chief Minister, let me quote to you DNA. 4 months have passed and farmers haven't got anything. Neither the compensation nor the benefits of the package.
No, I don't agree with that.
To your own paper.
No, no. See, you cannot rely.
And the same story's been in the Hindu as well.
Paper can give the information. But
you know what
cannot rely on the each and every newspaper printing in the news. How can we believe in that?
Do you know what the most cruel thing that's happening is? Far from giving compensation, far from giving debt relief, your administration is organizing bhajans and kirtans to build up the morale of farmers. Are you playing a cruel joke with them?
No, no, not at all. Because you see, we must go into the deep cause of the community. Farmers
need help, they need loans, they need assistance. They don't need bhajans and kirtans.
We see, psychological also we have.
Are you mocking their spirituality?
No, no.
Are you mocking their misery?
Not at all. Because you see, we decided after discussing with all our important people in various fields, and they say that this kind of a thing is required.
Quite right. You can't give them the support price you promised. In fact, you cut it. But you're going to give them bhajans and kirtans.
We are given the support price. We are given the best package available, and already distribution we already started. We have also repaired their old dues which were
Chief Minister, on the 24th of April you announced certain fresh measures for farmers. Let's turn to those. You've offered them concessional loans. Do those concessional loans also apply to farmers who are already unable to pay back earlier loans? Because if they don't, 90% of Vidarbha farmers where the suicides are happening will not benefit because they're already in debt.
This new decision is applicable to all the farmers of
including those who are already in debt.
Everybody.
So farmers who have outstanding loans can still take fresh loans.
Definitely.
That's a commitment and a guarantee.
Definitely.
A commitment and a guarantee.
But it's a guarantee given by the government.
What about something else? In the same package that you announced on the 24th of April, you said that your government would consider, and only consider, by the way, at this moment it's not a decision, concessions on electricity bills. The problem is, in 2004, you won an election promising free power to farmers. You didn't deliver. You revoked that immediately. Why should they accept this promise now? Why should they believe it?
I have not said anything. I said we will make a survey. How many are the farmers?
You said actually that you would consider. You said you would consider electricity concessions. How seriously considering are you doing?
Because unless and until we get the survey done, it is very difficult to say at this point of time.
This is a promise, an easy promise that you can go back on.
No question of going back. We really want to help the farmers. How can you do at this time of distress?
So then, will you give electricity concessions or not?
Well, I will get the report. How many farmers are there? Those who could not pay the dues because of their poverty.
So this is just a thought. It's not a commitment.
No, because somebody.
This is not a decision.
No decision. But unless and until we get the correct figures, that will be put before the committee, and that committee will decide.
The problem, Chief Minister, is that Vidarbha is just a microcosm of what's happening in Maharashtra all the way across. According to the Ministry of Agriculture's Situational Assessment Survey, published out of Delhi, 89% of Maharashtra farmers are in debt, and their quantum of debt has increased by an astonishing 232% in the last 10 years. Almost 50% of them are indebted, in fact, to money lenders who charge exploitative rates of interest. You're sitting on a time bomb.
I don't agree with that, because the total loan portion for the farmers, especially for the crop loan, is in the whole state, if you take into account, it is about 6,000 crores. And with this new concession in the interest rate,
89% of your farmers are in debt, and 50% almost of that debt in the hands of money lenders, and you think it's not a major problem?
No, many lenders are different, because I'm talking about the loan from the cooperative and nationalized bank.
Money lenders charge interest in 20s and 30s. That's the problem.
And that is the reason that we are already waived whatever loan they are taken from the private lenders, those who are not.
So you're confident that you can control the problem as well?
100%.
What about the problem in Thane of little children? The Hindu newspaper says that in the last 1 year, since April, 1,100 have died. Other newspapers put the figure at 1,700. You're losing in Thane through malnutrition 3 or 4 young children under the age of 6 every single day.
I know this problem is a very crucial problem, and that's the reason we have appointed a special mission to tackle this.
How serious is this mission?
Yeah, because appointed a special secretary level officer as a chairman of that particular mission, and things are now improving.
Oh, are they? Because the Times of India says that your district officials in Thane refuse to accept that these are malnutrition deaths. They say the deaths are due to tribal ignorance.
I am not, I just said that because when we appointed officer, we appointed a scheme, we have been given certain special attention to that particular area, and things will improve.
Things will improve, no doubt. But in the meantime, children are dying at the rate of 3 or 4 a day.
I don't agree with that.
It's a fact.
No, maybe it is your information, not mine.
You mean the newspapers are wrong?
Could be.
You know, Chief Minister, the Congress party's slogan is Congress ka haath, aam aadmi ke saath. Why are the farmers of Vidarbha and the children of Thane excluded?
No, they are with us. Nobody is excluded. I just said it is unfortunate so far as farmer deaths are concerned, suicides are concerned.
What about children's deaths?
But that too, but things are improving. It's not that we are not giving full attention to that problem.
Farmers are dying at 3 a day, children are dying at 4 a day. Where's the improvement?
No, improvement, I think it will take some more time.
So how many more will die before things improve?
No. I don't think that, because we need to have a proper dialogue with the farmers. Why? What are the reasons? Only indebtedness is not the only cause of their death.
So you are confident that you are capable of handling suicides and children's malnutrition deaths?
I am 100% confident, and we will tackle this issue, and the day will come that one day you will again come and tell me that yes, things have improved.
Chief Minister, let's hope that day happens very soon. Thank you very much indeed.